Okay, so I've got everything put back together again. Now I'm going to install the lockup kit. That's why I haven't run my wires back where they're supposed to be, or my case switches, mainly because it uses this hookup. Oops, sorry. It uses this hookup for the wiring. The first thing is the wiring harness. When you do your shift kit, you have to remove the wiring harness from here anyway. The TCI kit comes with everything to replace that harness. Get everything unwound over here. And voila. So this is the plug. It only goes one way in there. There's this tab that locks. So you just put it in and lock it just like it was going back in from the old one. Get her lined up. Make sure everything is correct. Yeah, I see the replacement exactly the same as this one. Looks like they're pinned a little bit differently though. These go one way and these go another way, so hopefully that still works. It looks like it will. It's just getting it down into this little spot. This gasket's got to get off of here. It only goes one way, so it makes it pretty easy. Push down until she locks in, which she just did, and voila, that's in. The other thing that you're going to replace, I won't need this anymore because I can see now. So hang tight, I'll be right back in just 1 second. Now I've got that switch in place. The next thing I have to replace is going to be the switch. Got to use the one that comes in the kit. New one from the kit. Okay, so my kit didn't come with instructions, so I was relying on YouTube to show me the proper way to do this. This does not belong here. This belongs here. And this one, you don't do anything with it. So I have to remove this and put this one in it. This one in this is place, and I'll put the one that was in here back in again. But yeah, I got the instructions for a shift kit, but not for the lockup converter. So this gets to come back off again. So my TCI shift kit came with instructions for the shifter upgrade kit and not the lockout converter kit. So definitely didn't help any. But here's the kit installed. I've replaced the solenoids. They're both double pole now, so I just have to wire it up. They give you the little wiring harness to go to everything, and then you tap into the other two wires on the other side to get to those. Of course, you don't want to use your plastic retainer because you'll be able to put your wires back in it. But I'm not going to cut these until I'm ready to. One goes, excuse me. One goes to one solenoid, one goes to the other. You don't retain any of the factory wiring at all. It all goes to this wiring harness now. So it's another day in the shop. Still working on the 700R4, its shift kit, and the TCI Lockup Kit. There's a couple of things that I want to point out to you guys. I've been working on this for off and on, a couple hours here and there for the last couple weeks. There's a couple of areas that they don't tell you about in the videos, and you got to go kind of find them. So one of the things is the solenoid up in the front that goes down into the pump. They don't show you that there are two grooves there and that you need to go to that bottom groove. The other thing they don't explain is on here you remove springs and add spacers in their place. You're kind of sitting there looking at God going, oh, I got 3 springs here. What am I supposed to do with them? And then on the shift kit, they're kind of vague about how they say to wire it. They say, oh yeah, these 2 wires just hook to that solenoid. They don't tell you which solenoid it is that you're that you're replacing the unit with. It is the one nearest this side, which would be your passenger side. And you have 2 connectors, which makes it real simple. One, 2. One has an additional wire on it. That goes over to this side. And the other one, the hot, comes from this wire here. So you got a hot and a positive and a negative on this solenoid over here. And that's your lockup solenoid. So your straight wire is positive, and then your spliced wire is your negative. A couple of things they don't tell you. One of the reasons it's taking me so long to do this is I am double checking everything. As is with most of my car, I've never done this before, or if I have, it was well over, geez, I don't even want to quote it, more than 30 years ago. So as I go, I'm double checking my work, because there would be nothing worse than to do all this work to this transmission and then turn around and find out it's not working. That would be horrible. Definitely be horrible. So as I go, I'm making sure that everything is correct, everything is in its right place, everything's where it's supposed to be doing, or what it's supposed to be doing, and so on and so forth. So definitely something to do. And yeah, I know there's training guys that could probably do this in 20 minutes. Not me. All right, I'm learning as I go, because I want to be able to know how to do this, not just for me, my sake, but for you also. There are a million videos on how to do this stuff, but there's these little tiny things that they do not tell you. Like the wiring on the TCI website or the TCI YouTube stuff, they go through it so fast, it's like a 3-minute video. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Well, I'm here to tell you that doesn't always look that way. Like this particular transmission is an 84. It has 2 of the little solenoid thingies. This one, you don't hook anything to it at all anymore. It's just what it is. It's dead. And the other one is the only one you hook these wires to. Nothing else matters. They'll kind of tell you that. They kind of tell you, if you have a 1-wire solenoid or the lockup converter solenoid, then you need to go buy a 2-wire. At first, I'm thinking on this end 1-wire, 2-wire, but it wasn't. They're talking about the actual lockup unit itself. So this one has to have 2 wires on it, a positive and a negative. And it's really cool because it says positive, red and black right here on the top, which tells you positive, negative. So that's real simple, as is most of it. But to me, these automatic transmissions are kind of witchcraft. I started to take a class on them, and I basically scratched my head like it was advanced calculus. I understand that if I were to continuously rebuild one a couple of times, I'd understand it a lot better. But why do that when I can YouTube it and find somebody who's already done it for me? This particular one was already rebuilt, just by generally looking at it. The only thing in here is the fuel fluid was a little bit dirty, but nothing really major. There wasn't very many miles on it. But these are the kind of things that, I'm going back and forth during this whole process to make sure that I'm doing it right. Because Lord knows we don't want to put these things together and then find out, oh, we didn't do something right, or oh, we forgot something. And as with me and most people, when you're doing this type of thing, you're going to do it twice. There's no doubt about it. You're going to screw something up and you're going to have to do it twice. So in this particular case, and the same with the engine, I wanted to make sure I'm not doing it twice, because these two are pretty pricey to have to make an error and screw up and have to do twice. So the only thing I can tell you out there is, if you're doing this yourself, take your time, watch lots of videos. I've probably seen 25 videos on 700R4 shift kits and lockout converter kits, just to make sure that I'm doing this all right. So anyway, it's a new day. It's a new day here today in the shop. It's Sunday. Dogs are already laid down and in their spot, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up this wiring. I'm going to get this pan gasket off, the old pan gasket off, and get the new pan gasket on. I've got two options. I've got a cork gasket, and then I've got a reusable. I'm probably going to stick with the cork because it's just thicker and better. But that's kind of to give you an update of where I'm at with everything and what's taking so long. I also had family in town, so you know how it is when you have family. My grandson came in and did an intro video with me, and you'll see that. You should have seen that here in the beginning. But for the most part, when you got family in town, set your stuff down and go see family and spend some time with family. Unless your family wants to come in and do transmission work with you, which they will for a minute and then kind of disappear on you. So they didn't come to watch Papa put together a transmission. But that's kind of give you an update of everything, of everywhere where I'm at. And what I'm doing today is finishing up this transmission. I got to finish the shed, putting in the electrical so that our whirlpool is working, because I've got my other grandkids coming in a couple of weeks. So I want to make sure that the whirlpool's in and ready, not just for them, but just for me and my wife, so that we have a nice place to relax and take the ache out of your back. So without further ado, I'm going to start moving forward on this transmission, and I'll bring you along with it. Probably speed you through most of it because a lot of it's kind of tedious stuff, but that'll kind of give you an idea of what's going on. One other thing I want to touch on before I get into the transmission is, when I opened my kit, my TCI kit, it had the instructions for a shift kit as opposed to the instructions for the lockout kit. I thought that was interesting. TCI's website's really good. They did have the ability for me to download and print out the correct instructions, but yeah, these are the 376-500 installation instructions for Tuber 400 and up. Transmission, yeah, transmission shift kit, not the lockout kit. For those, don't be intimidated by this part number 376-600. It's a really easy process once you know what you're doing. In this particular case, you do need to cut these wires off. Make sure you leave enough. I'm going to leave plenty on there. This harness goes away, and it goes over here with the rest of the stuff. And they give you connectors for it in the kit. I've been using my transmission pan to hold all my stuff. That way I don't have to worry about losing it. It's all in there where I can get to it. I have these little bitty connectors. Slipping wires. Sometimes just don't play well. This one goes down. There. Okay. Let's see how well this works. Yeah, it worked pretty good. Pretty snazzy. This one's the negative. Fight me. Really? Looks pretty good. Okay, these go back that direction. I am going to see if I can reuse this little holder. See if it'll let me put all 3 wires in it. Probably not so much because of the tool part, but we'll move this up so that we can get them in. And they just lay them out across the thing. I don't like that. I want to definitely try to keep it as neat as possible. This little thing is kind of cool. It just kind of screws right in down here, held in place by, oh, wrong side. And voila. Push it down a little bit, get it out the way. And there you go. The kit is on. Everything's all set. The only thing I need to do is tighten that bolt back down. That's the only one I didn't snug up yet because I wanted this plastic thing on there first. Walk through real quick. Check the tightness of all these. I got them mostly torqued, but just make sure that you didn't miss any. Like I say, you'd hate to turn around and have to pull this thing out because you forgot something. And voila, everything's all set. Shifter works. Kick down works. Kind of neat how that whole setup works. Learn a lot while you're in here. So last but not least, I need to pull the gasket all off of here because it's old and crusty. There's some areas where it's really stuck. I have to get my scraper out. And there's other areas where it's coming right off. It would be nice to have overdrive. And plan on having a couple rolls of paper towels with you because you're going to need them all. Away from paint wasn't dry when they painted this transmission. Whoever painted the transmission. I ended up with 3 different gasket types. This rubber one came in the B&M kit. This one with the TCI is a little bit stiffer. It's a little bit thinner. That's rubber, and then we have our cork. I'm partial to the one that came in the B&M kit. But before we do all that fun stuff, there's one last part we have to put on, and that is the filter. And it also came with a gasket. Excuse me, buddy. Now this one is a lot bigger area-wise than the one that came off of it. This is the one that TCI recommends with the deep pan. So we're going to go with it. But we got to get it out. Once again, a second TCI gasket. So I have plenty of gaskets. Make sure there is no plastic on. Make sure your O-ring goes back where it's supposed to be. There'll be nothing worse than putting it together having it in the wrong spot. A bit of garbage in there. I didn't wipe that out. Okay, so I've got the bolts and the pan gasket all on. All I have to do is torque them down. Generally, you'll do it in inch-pounds. I don't have an inch-pound wrench. I have a foot-pound, so it is 12 foot-pounds. Do it all in a star pattern, of course, always. It does not take long to get there. It don't take much. Come over to this side. There's all of them double checked. Finishes the transmission. Gotta tighten that bolt down and I am done. Thank goodness. 2.5 week project. As I said, family definitely sums it up a little bit, but it's okay. Having family come visit is always good. First try. Definitely get an oil pan with a drain plug. A trans pan, I'm sorry, with a drain plug. This one has the plastic washer, so you don't have to torque the hell out of it. Sorry, torque the heck out of it. Another out. That is it. Transmission done. So sorry about the long time frame and everything on getting this video out. I just wanted to make sure I got everything done correctly. Like I say, they leave a bunch of gaps in some things. Hopefully that you'll find helpful in my video versus the rest of them. The rest of them do a good job of telling you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. But it's those little bitty things that they kind of gloss over and don't really help you with, especially that one plunger that goes down into the to the front pump. That one, nobody, they say be careful because it'll catch on the bore. They don't tell you that there's 2 clips and you got to go to the bottom one. But hope this helps you in your project. And like I say, this is the first one I've ever done, so I'm hoping when I put it in the car, everything goes fine. Should. Transmission was in good shape to begin with, and I followed the directions perfectly and watched about 500 videos, exaggerating, but to make sure that I did it right. Please like, share, subscribe, and look forward to you on the next video.